Serena, we often talk about how important a healthy diet is, and fruit is usually right at the top of that list, isn't it?
Absolutely, Daniel. We're always encouraged to eat more fruit. It seems like a simple rule for good health.
It generally is. But what if I told you that for us seniors, some common fruits could pose hidden risks, while others are true champions for our well-being?
Hidden risks from fruit. That's a surprising thought, Daniel. It makes you wonder which ones we should be more careful about.
It's crucial to be aware, and that's exactly what we're exploring today in Over 65, 4 dangerous fruits you should never eat, and 4 you must eat. Senior health. Now, Serena, that title might sound alarming.
It does catch your attention. Dangerous fruits sounds quite serious.
And the goal isn't to scare, but to empower everyone with knowledge, because knowing better helps us do better for our health, especially as our bodies change with age. We'll look at 4 fruits to be cautious with and 4 fantastic ones to embrace.
A balanced approach, cautions, and positive choices. I like that.
Precisely. And before we dive in, if you're new here or enjoy content that helps you live your healthiest, happiest life after 60, do consider subscribing to Empowered Senior Living and clicking that notification bell so you don't miss out. We love hearing from you too, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comments as we go.
Great reminder, Daniel. And as always, while we share helpful insights, this isn't a substitute for your doctor's advice. Always chat with them about your specific dietary needs.
Couldn't agree more, Serena. All right, ready to uncover some fruit surprises?
I certainly am. Let's get to it.
Let's start with those fruits that might not be our best friends after 65. It's not always about the fruit itself, but how it interacts with our bodies or medications. And the first one on our caution list might surprise many: grapefruit.
Grapefruit. But Daniel, that's often seen as such a health food, packed with vitamin C. I know many people who enjoy it for breakfast.
You're absolutely right, Serena. It is packed with vitamin C. However, for many of us over 65, grapefruit, and even some of its citrus relatives like pomelos, Seville oranges, which are often used in marmalade, and tangelos, can be quite problematic.
Really? So, what's the main concern with grapefruit for seniors?
The main reason is that grapefruit can interfere with the way our bodies process certain medications. It contains compounds called furanocoumarins. Now, these compounds can block an enzyme in our intestines that's responsible for breaking down many common drugs.
So, if that enzyme is blocked, what happens then? Does the medication not work as well?
Actually, it's often the opposite, and that's where the danger lies. When this enzyme is blocked, more of the medication can enter your bloodstream, and it can stay in your body longer. This might sound like you're getting more bang for your buck, but it can actually lead to dangerously high levels of the drug in your system, almost like an accidental overdose. This, of course, increases the risk of serious side effects.
My goodness, that sounds quite serious. What kind of medications are we talking about that can be affected by grapefruit?
Well, the list is quite long, Serena, and it includes some very common ones prescribed to seniors. For example, some statins used to lower cholesterol, many blood pressure medications like calcium channel blockers, some drugs for heart rhythm problems, certain antihistamines, anti-anxiety medications, and even some immunosuppressants.
That covers a lot of common conditions. It's easy to imagine someone not realizing this interaction.
Exactly. Imagine you're diligently taking your blood pressure medication every day, thinking you're doing the right thing for your health. Then you decide to have a grapefruit for breakfast or a glass of grapefruit juice, and suddenly your medication becomes too strong. This could potentially cause your blood pressure to drop too low, leading to dizziness, falls, or other complications. It's a scenario we definitely want to help everyone avoid.
That's a very clear example of why this is so important to know. So, what's the main takeaway for our viewers regarding grapefruit?
The key takeaway is this. If you are taking any prescription medication, it is absolutely crucial to talk to your doctor or pharmacist specifically about grapefruit and grapefruit juice. They can tell you if your particular medications are affected. For some, it might mean avoiding grapefruit entirely. For others, there might be a safe window, or perhaps a different medication option could be considered. But please, don't guess.
That's solid advice. Don't guess seems like a good rule of thumb when it comes to medication interactions.
It truly is. This is one instance where ignorance is definitely not bliss. It's much better to be safe and perhaps switch to other delicious citrus fruits like regular oranges, mandarins, or clementines, which generally don't have the same potent interaction. Always check with your healthcare provider first.
Good to know there are safe alternatives. What's the next fruit on our caution list, Daniel?
Next on our list is a more exotic fruit, but one that's become increasingly available in grocery stores: star fruit, also known as carambola.
Oh, star fruit. I've seen it. It's very pretty when it's sliced. Looks like little stars, as the name suggests. I've heard it has a unique flavor.
It does, a unique tart to sweet flavor. However, for some individuals, particularly those with kidney issues, star fruit can be genuinely dangerous.
Dangerous. What makes star fruit a concern, especially for those with kidney problems?
Star fruit contains a substance called caramboxin, which is a neurotoxin. Now, for people with healthy, well-functioning kidneys, this toxin is usually filtered out and excreted without any problem. But as we age, kidney function can sometimes decline, even without us being fully aware of it. And if your kidneys aren't working at their peak, they may not be able to effectively remove this toxin from your blood.
A neurotoxin? That sounds alarming. What happens if this caramboxin builds up in the body?
If caramboxin builds up, it can lead to something called star fruit intoxication. The symptoms can range from relatively mild, like hiccups, vomiting, and confusion, to much more severe neurological problems, including seizures, coma, and in some rare but tragic cases, even death. People with known kidney disease, even mild kidney insufficiency, are at the highest risk.
That's very serious. And you mentioned that kidney function can decline without us always knowing?
That's right. Kidney function can decline gradually and sometimes silently with age. So, it's possible to have reduced kidney function without even realizing it. Therefore, if you're over 65, and especially if you have any history of kidney problems or conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure, all of which can affect kidney health, it's probably wisest to steer clear of star fruit altogether.
So, for many seniors, it's just not worth the potential risk, even if the fruit looks appealing. It's better to be safe than sorry with this one.
Precisely, Serena. Especially when there are so many other wonderful and safe fruits to enjoy. If you've never had it before, this is one exotic fruit you might want to skip trying, just to be on the safe side. Again, a conversation with your doctor about your kidney health is always a good idea.
That's very clear. What's the third fruit or type of fruit we should be wary of?
All right, this next one isn't a specific type of fruit like grapefruit or star fruit, but rather a form of fruit that many of us grew up with. Canned fruits packed in heavy syrup.
Oh, I know those. Peaches, pears, fruit cocktail, often swimming in that very sweet, thick liquid. Many people find them convenient, and they bring back childhood memories for some.
They are convenient, no doubt, and the fruit itself, in its natural state, is usually fine. The problem here, Serena, is the heavy syrup. This syrup is essentially sugar water, and lots of it. Consuming these can send your blood sugar levels soaring, which is a particular concern if you have type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, conditions that are more common as we age.
And even if someone doesn't have diabetes, those big sugar spikes can't be good, can they? I imagine it leads to an energy crash afterwards.
You're absolutely right. Even if you don't have diabetes, those sharp spikes in blood sugar, followed by the inevitable crash, can leave you feeling tired, irritable, and craving more sugar. It's a roller coaster we don't need. Beyond blood sugar, all that added sugar contributes empty calories, which can lead to weight gain or make it harder to manage a healthy weight.
And I imagine all that extra sugar has other negative effects too, perhaps on inflammation.
It does. Excess sugar intake is also linked to increased inflammation in the body, which can worsen conditions like arthritis and heart disease. It can also contribute to fatty liver disease and other metabolic issues. When you choose canned fruit in heavy syrup, you're often getting far less of the fruit's natural goodness and a whole lot of added sugar that offers no nutritional benefit. Sometimes the canning process itself can also reduce the levels of certain vitamins.
So, what's a better choice for those who like the convenience of canned fruit? There must be healthier options.
That's a great practical question. If you enjoy the convenience of canned fruit, look for options packed in their own juice, or in water, or in light syrup if that's all that's available, though juice or water is best. It's so important to read the labels carefully. Even better, opt for fresh fruit whenever possible, or frozen fruit. Frozen fruit is typically picked at its peak ripeness and frozen quickly, locking in nutrients without any added sugar.
Frozen fruits are a great tip. They're perfect for smoothies or just thawing out, and you avoid all that added sugar. It seems like a simple switch with big benefits.
Exactly. It's a simple swap that can make a big difference to your overall health. Now, for our final fruit on the Be Cautious list, Underripe Persimmons.
Persimmons! I know some people really love them, but I've also heard they can be a bit tricky. You're specifying underripe ones, particularly?
Yes, specifically underripe persimmons, especially the astringent varieties like the Hachia persimmon, which is the acorn-shaped one. Persimmons are delicious and nutritious when fully ripe. A ripe Hachia persimmon should feel very soft, almost like a water balloon.
So, what's the issue if you eat them when they're still firm and not quite ripe? Especially those Hachia ones.
If you eat them when they are still firm and underripe, particularly those astringent types, they contain high levels of tannins. These tannins, in combination with stomach acid, can form what's called a phytobezoar in your digestive tract.
A phytobezoar? That sounds rather technical. What exactly is it, and what does it do?
A bezoar is essentially a hard, indigestible mass, kind of like a fruit-based hairball, that can form in the stomach or intestines. It can cause stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, and in severe cases, even a bowel obstruction, which might require medical intervention or surgery.
Oh my, that sounds very uncomfortable and potentially serious. Does our age play a role in this risk, making us more susceptible?
It can. As we get older, our digestive system sometimes slows down a bit, a condition called decreased gastric motility. This means food moves through our system more slowly, which can increase the risk of these bezoars forming if we consume a lot of high tannin, hard-to-digest material like that found in underripe astringent persimmons. Also, if you've had previous stomach surgery, your risk might be higher.
Are all persimmons like this, or are there safer varieties?
The non-astringent varieties, like the Fuyu persimmon, which is flatter like a tomato and can be eaten when crisp, generally have lower tannin levels and pose less of a risk even when slightly firm. However, It's always good to be mindful.
So, for those Hachia persimmons, what's the best approach to enjoy them safely?
If you love Hachia persimmons, the key is patience. Let them ripen fully on your counter until they are jelly soft. At that point, the tannins will have mellowed and they become a sweet, luscious treat. If you're unsure about the variety or ripeness, it's perhaps best to enjoy them in moderation or choose the Fuyu variety, which is much more forgiving. This is all about enjoying fruit safely and avoiding unnecessary discomfort. And Serena, one more quick general tip before we move to the good news. Always wash all your fruits thoroughly before eating them, no matter what kind they are. This helps remove any lingering pesticides, dirt, or bacteria from the surface. A good rinse under running water is usually sufficient.
That's always a good reminder, Daniel. Basic food safety is so important and sometimes easily overlooked.
Phew. Okay, we've covered the cautionary tales. I hope that wasn't too disheartening for everyone.
I think it's been very informative, Daniel. Like you said, knowledge is power. It's good to be aware of these things to make safer choices. Now, I'm really looking forward to the good news part.
Excellent. Let's shift gears then and talk about some truly fantastic fruits that are wonderful for us as we get older. The must-eats that can really boost our health and vitality.
I'm ready. Let's hear about these powerhouse fruits that we should be eating.
The first must-eat fruit group, and it's a popular one. Berries, especially blueberries.
Oh, berries. I love blueberries. They're so delicious and seem to pop up in every healthy eating list. What makes them such a must-eat, for seniors specifically?
If there's one group of fruits that consistently gets a gold star for health, it's berries. And blueberries in particular are little powerhouses of nutrition. Think of them as tiny health heroes. They are absolutely packed with antioxidants, particularly compounds called anthocyanins, which give them their beautiful deep blue-purple color.
Antioxidants are so important, aren't they? They help protect our cells from damage.
They do. These antioxidants are like little bodyguards for our cells. They help fight off damage from unstable molecules called free radicals, which contribute to aging and chronic diseases. For us seniors, Serena, this antioxidant power is particularly beneficial for brain health. Several studies have suggested that regular consumption of blueberries can help improve memory, cognitive function, and may even delay age-related cognitive decline.
Better memory and brain function from eating blueberries? That's fantastic news. It's something many of us are concerned about.
It really is. But the benefits don't stop there. Blueberries are also great for heart health. Their antioxidants and other compounds can help lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, and keep our blood vessels healthy and flexible. They are also anti-inflammatory, which is important because chronic inflammation is a root cause of many age-related ailments.
Brain health, heart health, anti-inflammatory. Blueberries sound like a true superfood. It seems they cover a lot of bases.
They certainly have a lot to offer. Plus, blueberries are a good source of fiber, which aids in digestion, helps regulate blood sugar, and can keep you feeling full and satisfied. And they're relatively low in calories and sugar compared to many other fruits, making them a smart choice.
So many benefits. What are some good ways to include them in our diet easily?
Oh, so many ways. Fresh by the handful is fantastic. Add them to your morning oatmeal or whole grain cereal. Blend them into a smoothie with some yogurt and spinach. You won't even taste the spinach. Toss them into a salad for a burst of sweetness. You can also buy them frozen, which is often more economical, especially out of season, and they're just as nutritious.
Frozen blueberries are a staple in my freezer for that very reason. They're so versatile. And I suppose other berries are good too, not just blueberries.
Absolutely. While blueberries are a superstar, don't forget their other berry cousins, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. They're all wonderful and offer similar benefits. So, make berries a regular and colorful part of your diet. Variety is key.
Wonderful. That's very encouraging. What's the next must-eat fruit, Daniel?
Our second must-eat is a classic, apples, and especially when you keep that skin on.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Is there real truth to that old saying, or is it just folklore?
There's a lot of truth to it, Serena, especially for us. One of the biggest benefits of apples, particularly when you eat them with the skin on, is their high fiber content. They contain a special type of soluble fiber called pectin.
Pectin? I've heard that word. What does that do for us, especially as seniors?
This pectin is fantastic for several reasons. First, it's great for digestive health. It helps keep things moving smoothly, preventing constipation, which can be a common issue as we age. Second, pectin can help lower LDL cholesterol. That's the bad cholesterol, which is a big plus for heart health. It does this by binding with cholesterol in your digestive system and helping to carry it out of your body.
Lowering bad cholesterol and helping with digestion. Those are significant benefits that many of us are looking for.
They are indeed. Pectin also helps to slow down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, which means apples have a relatively low glycemic impact compared to some other fruits, helping to keep your blood sugar levels more stable. This is good news for everyone, not just those managing diabetes. Beyond fiber, apples also provide vitamin C, various antioxidants, especially in the skin, so please don't peel it if you don't have to. And important minerals like potassium.
So, keeping the skin on is really important for apples then, to get all those extra nutrients?
Very important for getting the maximum benefits, yes. The antioxidants in apples, like quercetin, have anti-inflammatory properties and may also play a role in protecting brain health. And another great thing about apples is their versatility and convenience.
That's true. They're easy to grab and go, and there are so many varieties. How else can we enjoy them besides just eating them whole?
You can slice them and dip them in a little peanut butter or almond butter for a more substantial snack with added protein and healthy fats. You can chop them into salads, bake them with a sprinkle of cinnamon for a warm, comforting dessert, or make unsweetened applesauce. With so many varieties available, from tart Granny Smiths to sweet Fuji's or Honey Crisps, you can find your favorites and make them a regular part of your fruit intake.
Apples definitely sound like a simple yet powerful choice. Easy to find and easy to eat. What's next on the must-eat list?
Next up is a fruit that's often a staple in many households, the humble banana, though we'll add a note about moderation here.
Bananas. They're so convenient and usually quite affordable. I know they're famous for potassium. Is that the main benefit for us?
You're right. They are often praised for their potassium content, and rightly so. Potassium is a crucial mineral, especially for maintaining healthy blood pressure. It works in tandem with sodium to regulate fluid balance, nerve signals, and muscle contractions, including your heart muscle. Many older adults don't get enough potassium, and medications like certain diuretics can deplete it, so bananas can be a tasty way to help replenish your levels.
So they're particularly good for blood pressure then. What else do bananas offer besides potassium?
Besides potassium, bananas also provide vitamin B6, which is important for brain development and function, as well as for immune function and metabolism. They also contain some vitamin C and fiber, especially if they're not overly ripe. The fiber in bananas, including resistant starch, found more in slightly greenish bananas, can be beneficial for gut health as it feeds the good bacteria in your intestines.
And they are certainly easy to eat, which is a plus for many seniors who might have trouble with harder fruits.
Exactly. They're soft, require no cutting usually, and are generally gentle on the stomach, making them a great option if you have chewing difficulties or a sensitive digestive system. They're a perfect quick energy booster. Now, you mentioned moderation, Serena, and that's an important point I brought up earlier.
Yes, why the emphasis on moderation for bananas, especially if they have so many good things?
Bananas are a bit higher in sugar and carbohydrates compared to some other fruits like berries. So, if you are managing diabetes or watching your carbohydrate intake closely, you'll want to be mindful of portion sizes. A whole large banana might be too much at once for some. Perhaps half a banana is a better choice, or pairing it with some protein or healthy fat, like a few nuts, to slow down sugar absorption. It's always good to see how your own blood sugar responds.
That's a good practical tip. Being aware of portion size if blood sugar is a concern, and maybe pairing it with other foods.
But for most seniors, incorporating a banana into your diet a few times a week can be a very positive thing. Slice it onto your cereal, blend it into a smoothie to add natural sweetness and creaminess, or just enjoy it as a simple, satisfying snack. They're convenient, affordable, and packed with goodness when enjoyed wisely.
They are definitely convenient and offer good nutrients. It's good to know how to fit them in healthily. What's our final must-eat fruit, Daniel? This has been great so far.
Our final must-eat fruit is a real gem, both in appearance and in its health benefits: the pomegranate.
Pomegranates. Those beautiful red seeds. They look so vibrant and festive. I've heard they are very healthy, but they also seem a bit mysterious.
They are indeed. Those beautiful jewel-like seeds, called arils, are not only delicious, but are also bursting with potent antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Pomegranates are particularly rich in unique antioxidants called punicalagins and punicic acid. In fact, Serena, some research suggests that the antioxidant capacity of pomegranate juice can be even higher than that of red wine or green tea.
Higher than red wine or green tea? That's impressive. How do these powerful antioxidants in pomegranates specifically help us as seniors?
These powerful antioxidants help protect our cells from damage, fight inflammation throughout the body, and may offer significant benefits for heart health. Studies have indicated that pomegranates may help lower blood pressure, reduce LDL cholesterol oxidation, which is a key step in the development of hardening of the arteries, and improve blood flow.
With heart disease being such a major concern as we age, that sounds incredibly beneficial. Anything that supports heart health is worth looking into.
It really does. And there's also emerging research into pomegranates' potential benefits for brain health, possibly helping to protect against age-related memory decline, similar to blueberries. Some studies even suggest they might have anti-cancer properties, although more research is needed in humans. Their strong anti-inflammatory effects are also thought to be beneficial for conditions like arthritis.
So many potential benefits. Now, Daniel, I have to admit, and I'm sure some of our viewers feel the same, pomegranates can seem a bit fiddly to prepare. Getting those little seeds out can be a bit of a chore for some.
That's a very common thought, Serena. And you're right, it can seem daunting. But there are tricks to it. You can score the pomegranate, break it apart in a bowl of water, the arils sink, and the pith floats, making them easier to separate. Or you can often buy just the arils already separated in containers at the grocery store, which is super convenient.
Buying the arils pre-separated is a great tip for convenience. That takes away a lot of the work. How can we use them besides just eating them plain?
You can eat the arils on their own. They have a lovely sweet tart crunch. Sprinkle them on salads for a pop of color and flavor. Add them to yogurt or oatmeal. You can also enjoy 100% pomegranate juice, but as with all fruit juices, be mindful of the sugar content. A small glass is usually plenty, and make sure it's pure juice, not a juice drink with added sugars.
So, a little effort with pomegranates or opting for the convenient prepackaged arrows can really pay off in terms of health benefits. They sound like a worthwhile addition.
It certainly can. Pomegranates might take a little more effort than grabbing an apple, but their impressive health profile, especially for heart and inflammation support, makes them a truly valuable addition to a senior's diet. So there you have it, everyone. We've journeyed through 4 fruits that warrant some caution or avoidance for those of us over 65. Grapefruit, due to medication interactions; starfruit for kidney concerns; canned fruits in heavy syrup because of their high sugar load; and underripe persimmons due to the risk of bezoars.
And on the brighter side, we've celebrated 4 fantastic fruits that are truly must-eats. Berries like blueberries for their brain and heart benefits, apples with their skin for their fiber and digestive health, bananas in moderation for their potassium and convenience, and those powerful pomegranates for their antioxidant and anti-inflammatory punch. It's been quite a fruity journey.
The main message I hope you all take away today, and Serena, I think you'll agree, is that you have the power to make informed choices about what you eat. And those choices can have a real impact on your health and well-being, especially in our golden years.
Absolutely, Daniel. It's not about aiming for perfection, is it? It's more about making those small, consistent, positive changes that add up over time and contribute to a healthier lifestyle.
Exactly. Eating a variety of fruits is generally a wonderful thing. They provide us with so many essential vitamins, minerals, fiber, and protective plant compounds. It's just about being a little more discerning and understanding how certain fruits might affect us uniquely as we age or interact with medications we might be taking. And always discuss any significant dietary changes or concerns with your doctor or a registered dietitian.
That's the most important piece of advice. This has been incredibly helpful and enlightening, Daniel. It really empowers us to make better choices and understand our food better.
I'm so glad to hear that, Serena, and I truly hope this discussion has been valuable for all of you watching. It's all about arming you with the knowledge to navigate your health journey with confidence. Remember, your diet is one of the most powerful tools you have for staying healthy and vibrant.
So, what are your thoughts, everyone? Were any of these fruits a surprise to you? Do you have any favorite ways to enjoy the must-eat fruits we talked about today? Or perhaps a fruit you'd like us to discuss in the future? We'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. Sharing our experiences and tips can benefit everyone in our wonderful community.
That's a great invitation, Serena. And if you found this video valuable, please do give it a thumbs up. It really helps others find it. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to Empowered Senior Living and clicking that little notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos designed to help you live your healthiest, happiest life.
Thank you all so much for spending this time with us today. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. Remember to always listen to your body, consult with your healthcare providers, and keep making those positive choices. Stay healthy, stay informed, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Stay well.